Welcome to the Charleston CFO Council. This organization was co-founded in 2015 by Robert Bendetti and Martin Carmichael in order to provide a networking and educational forum for senior financial executives to share best practices, to discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their job.
David, good afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
Good, Robert. How are you doing today?
I mean, it is an honor to get to talk to you. I'm excited. This is a virtual introduction. We have never actually met.
Right. That's correct.
Glad to have you. You're one of our, I think, top 5 most recent additions to the Charleston CFO Council. So what a better way to introduce you to the group than a little meet a member video. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I look forward to it and meeting more members and learning more about the group.
David, let me introduce you, and then we'll get right into the questions. I found a little bit of stuff on the internet about you. David Lench is a fractional CFO and president of DBL Consulting. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
And before that, a business unit CFO VP of a little $5 billion, 18,000 employee global information systems consulting firm called Wolters Kluwer. Is that correct, sir?
That's right. That's right.
Before that, I saw you at small, medium, large size companies as a senior financial executive. And then I think you may have started out at PwC as an audit manager back in the day. Was that correct, sir?
I did do internal audit for PwC and worked in banking as well.
I think you got your undergrad at State University in New York. Did you get a degree in geography?
I did geography and minored in English, so not your typical accounting track.
And then an MBA from NYU with a concentration in finance and international business. Is that correct, sir?
That's right. You got it.
Well, it's an honor and pleasure. I think you're relocating very soon from Minnesota to Charleston to further ruin the traffic. But hey, we like you. You're okay. And let's kick off to question number 1. Dave, yeah. What is your favorite business book and why?
Well, I'll tell you about 2 of them, if I can slip 2 in. The first one is Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the Quest for a Fantastic Future by Ashley Vance. I love biographies. That was a particularly, interesting one to learn about Musk and his background, and he's quite the character. It's very readable. It really just, talks about the drive and the passion behind Elon and about how he started those businesses. And the second book is called The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg. I think a lot of people may know it, but it is a excellent book really told from a neuroscience and brain science kind of perspective, giving kind of an insight into why we make the decisions we do and why the habits that we have become what they are and how we can kind of shape those for business and in life. And I found it very readable. There's a lot of great business anecdotes in that book, and one that I recommend.
Great recommendation. I have bought but not read the Elon biography, but I've never heard of The Power of Habit, so I'm going to check that out. Good recommendation, David.
Yeah.
Question number 2, what about the best advice that you've ever received?
I'm going to go for 2 for there too. Just very quickly. The first one is more advice that I didn't take from my wife, given by my wife. And that was, I've been visiting and known Charleston for since Hurricane Hugo and before. And at the time, right after Hurricane Hugo, there were opportunities to invest in real estate. My wife was pushing me to do that. And what a regret that was. I mean, before the 526 corridor was built, before the connectors to Isle of Palms, before the Ravenel Bridge, before most of the construction and the traffic you speak of, there were great opportunities, and that was advice I probably should have taken, but I didn't. We always have regrets in life. But the piece of advice that I did take and was given early on was that life or I should say one's career is not really a straight line trajectory at all times. We veer through our careers, and sometimes we take lateral and downward moves to advance. And I think, young people starting out their career, I think, believe that, there's just like that ladder, that natural climb the ladder kind of mentality. But that isn't the way real life works. And I've found that taking jobs and taking risks in one's career can often propel one to different areas, different businesses and opportunities along the way. That's been very helpful to me.
Yeah, David, before we started recording, you mentioned that you like to sail, and I think there's an illustration there to what you're saying. I think sometimes it's not a straight line. You gotta go where the wind's gonna take you, and sometimes that means moving a little bit back and forth off the straight line so that you can get there. But you get there faster.
Exactly.
Good advice. And we all should be listening to our wives and husbands. So that's a good reminder. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure.
David, I'm looking for something good with question number 3, which is a new tool or habit that you've recently started that you have found beneficial.
Yeah, I started my career before the internet or social media, probably as many of us did, but lived through the advent of, Excel and Microsoft Office products. I worked extensively with Oracle Essbase, Hyperion Essbase throughout my career. Thought it was a great tool. And the one that I've learned about more recently in the last couple of years are data visualization tools like Tableau. There are other tools like it, Power BI and others, but I found that to be just a remarkable way to get at data and to demonstrate and kind of tell your story visually, and sort of democratize data somewhat, so that people who aren't necessarily in the data themselves, business managers and people within the business, can really get their hands on it and do some what if scenarios and play with that data in a very user friendly kind of way. And so I think that's a tool I know is a lot of companies and a lot of finance teams are adopting, but it's been interesting to learn about.
David, you're in a little bit of a transition, just kicking off the DBL consulting and the fractional CFO. So it's emergent. So how do you answer this question? What's something you're looking forward to, or what do you think is going to be the best part of this new gig?
Yeah, certainly for me, it's about learning new things and meeting new people. I've been fortunate in my career to be able to make the decisions now about what I want to do next, and what I want to do next. And something I think a lot of people have thought about throughout their career is about starting something new, starting their own business, being their own boss. And I have the opportunity to do that. And really, I think, starting a consulting business and getting into a new market, although I'm very familiar with the Charleston area, learning what the community is and getting involved in that is what I'm really looking forward to.
David, what about something personal that you wouldn't mind sharing with the rest of the CFO Council that maybe we don't know about?
I guess one thing is that I have a particular interest in anything sort of in expanding my global interest in countries and different cultures. You mentioned I started out as a geography major. That was because I had an interest in cultural and also physical geography. It was just a very wide discipline type of curriculum to follow back then. And I had a father that traveled internationally. He never took us with him, but he did bring back mementos, and he brought back stories. And I think it just developed a curiosity in me about what the world was like. And so when I had the opportunity to travel and study abroad, I took the opportunity every time between education and career. When the opportunity afforded itself, I would go off and see another part of the world. I did my MBA in international business. I worked for a large Swiss bank early in my career after my MBA. Got to meet a lot of people from from different parts of the world, and there I worked for a Dutch company, Wolters Kluwer and Reed Elsevier, and big international firms. And I married a foreigner, somebody who was born in Brazil, was of Austrian German heritage, and grew up in, or raised our children in kind of this multilingual home, and that's been very enriching. I've also had the opportunity to live in different parts of the country. I spent most of my career in New York and the Northeast, but went to school in upstate New York. Lived in Minnesota, both in rural parts of central Minnesota as well as Minneapolis, and have spent a lot of time in Charleston in the Southeast. So really love getting different perspectives and seeing the world from different vantage points.
David, when we're all able to travel again, where's one place you've been that maybe some of us haven't that we should put on the list?
Well, one of our favorite places, I've been a couple of times, is northern Italy in the Dolomites, right near the Austrian border. The scenery is absolutely beautiful. It's a little bit north of Venice, south, kind of at the edge of, not the Alps exactly, but the Dolomites are its own range. And the food is incredible, a mix of that Italian, German, Austrian food, and just beautiful winter and summer.
Question number 6. It happened so fast. Last question. David, what is something that I should have asked, but I didn't? And what is your answer to that?
Well, just touching on my hobbies really quickly: sailing, hiking, biking, outdoor pursuits. I'll get that out of the way. But I think the question that you might ask is, with the competition in consulting, why would you want to go into that, and do you think you can be successful at that? And I ask myself that often, and I have confidence that I can do it. I think I have a unique background with exposure to a lot of different small businesses, different industries. I'm from financial services, legal services, publishing, the marble and granite industry, where I was a part of a business that published magazines for that industry. But more importantly, I think there's a lot of need. We're in a changing environment. Things are being done much more virtually. The way we work has changed. Smaller companies, I think, need to professionalize their finance, need to have a professional voice behind it that can help, just build a budget, or show how to measure results against plan, and implement a new system, or institute a finance and accounting function. And larger companies, and I've had lots of experience with those, and in divisional CFO roles, those companies are more likely to work with the office of the CFO or finance departments that have a more project-oriented type of work, maybe doing extra modeling or investment analysis, doing acquisitions, divestitures, or helping integrate, all things that I've done in my career, where I think I can apply those skills and help those organizations with the perspective that I've described. So I think it's going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be an interesting road, one that I'm really excited to pursue. But I'm realistic, and I just I'm confident that I'm going to learn a lot, and it's going to be a great journey. So thank you for those questions.
Well, amen. I'm sure you're going to be very successful. Charleston is a great place, and to your point, your market's really the U.S., international for that sake. I mean, we're all learning that. And then in my internet research, I read your LinkedIn profile, including your recommendations, and people say really nice things about you, David. No one has ever said any of the nice things that people filled up your LinkedIn recommendations with. So I'm sure you're going to be very successful, and I appreciate you taking the time to introduce yourself to the rest of the members. Thank you for doing this, sir.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to meeting the other members and engaging with Charleston CFO Council.
one day we'll be allowed to leave our basements and go out again.
I
And
look forward to that.
I pray that for you and I both, that we can fit in our pants and use our belts once again someday. I'm a little worried that I may have beginning a little too big. Everything I wear right now is stretchy pants, so I'm a little worried about the slacks and the suit.
John, stay on the treadmill.
On that note, goodbye, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.